When you first heard about this case, when you remember initially seeing the reports about it and everything, I remember listening to a handful of different hip hop commentators talk about it, and the mood was very much doom and gloom. Like, this motherfucker's not going to beat this. It sounds like they have a ton of evidence on him, physical evidence. They have the guns. They have this video footage of him with more guns, etc. Like, I remember hearing commentators talk about it and thinking, "Oh, Youngboy's done. He's getting locked up." Did you have a similar reaction, or what did you think when you first heard about it?
Oh, I definitely did not have a similar reaction because you can never ever look at any criminal case and say stuff like that. You just can't. If the fingerprint evidence and DNA evidence came back and matched him, and you know that, that's a whole different ballgame.
Right.
But this concept of constructive possession, look, he didn't get charged with fleeing from the police. If he got charged with fleeing the police, he's guilty. He didn't get charged with what else? Trespassing, right? Because he ran out the car, was on somebody else's property. If he got charged with trespassing, he's guilty. He got charged with felon in possession, right? And possession, you got to prove some stuff. So this is my phone. I possess my phone. It's in my hand. That's possession. But there's my bag. There's stuff in my bag.
Right.
Okay, so that's constructive possession. I don't have physical, but it's constructive. I have dominion over it because I know my bag is there. And if I wanted to, I could go get some shit out my bag.
Right.
But now let's talk about a car. All right, yeah, I know my car is there. Are you going to charge me with everything you can find in my car? You probably will, but it's not as easy a case to prove as you might think, because they're going to tell the jury this. They're going to tell the jury that in order to find the defendant guilty, you have to find that he knew the gun was there and that he intended to possess it. And how do you prove that he knew it was there? And how do you prove that he intended to possess it in a case where he's an entertainer, multiple people are going in and out of his house, and there's no physical evidence tying him to the weapon?
Right.
It was a case that I understand why they could beat it. I'll tell you what I honestly think. I think the prosecution got way too excited, and I think they put like a lot of prosecutors on the team because everybody wanted to get a piece of it. And I think they made the case a lot more complicated than it really should have been.
Right.
For them, strategically. For them, strategically, they should have made the case simple, right? But they got excited, you know, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to go in on this guy. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And they did too much, in my opinion.
Operation Never Free Again.
It's too much. It's too
much. What was the too much? Like, what if you were in the shoes of the prosecutor, what would you have advised them to do specifically, and what should they have left out?
All right. Well, first off, let me give you the proof that it was too much.
Okay.
All right. So if you're 12 guys in a jury, literally any one statement, any one look might go ahead and make up your mind. That for me, I saw that. That's it. That's what my mind is made up. Throughout this case, the judge constantly looks at the prosecutor and says, stop. What does this have to do with anything?
Really? The lyrics being an example of that?
Well, he started off, got rid of the lyrics. The jury didn't hear that he got rid of the lyrics.
Okay.
But here's what the jury hears. They start comparing, they're talking about this FNX 45 gun, and they're talking about all the markings, and they're going on a deep dive into the markings. And really, the job for the jury is very simple. Let me compare the picture on social media that you say is the gun, and let me see the gun, and let me see if they're the same. Now, these guys are going to go on, and they go in like a deep dive. The FNX has this, the FNX has this. You can't tell any of these features on the pictures that the jury is looking at. And so the judge is like, stop it. We don't need a gun lesson. This is irrelevant. If I'm a juror, I'm looking at that, I automatically go, this looks like a weak prosecution case. And over again, the prosecution is using multiple pictures of him with jewelry. What does that have to do with anything? And what it shows you, in my opinion, is a prosecution unhinged from what they typically do, because they're caught up in the mania of let's go get this kid.
Right.
It was an unhinged prosecution, if you ask me.
Really? You think they just had such a big grudge against him? I mean, this is part of like a broader movement against rappers and against gangster rappers in particular lately, right?
Look,
it's hard to think that it would necessarily be like coordinated. Like we can't prove that or know that, but it seems like a trend now, right?
Look, I always use the example. People who follow me have heard this before. You know, if you're a supermarket checkout person and you could serve me or you could serve NBA Youngboy on your checkout line,
Yeah.
who you want to serve?
NBA Youngboy.
And prosecutors and cops have tremendous discretion. A lot of these guys wake up and they can choose from a big, what their area of responsibility, FBI calls it AOR. Cops might call it jurisdiction. But within their jurisdiction, they could pick and choose.
Right.
And who are they going to pick and choose? They're going to pick and choose, especially the guys who are going to go on social media. If you're going to go on social media and say, gang, gang, bang, they're going to pick and choose you.
Right.
Yeah, King Slime. Now, how did the video evidence get thrown out? Because I believe the prosecutors or the police went through the cameraman's camera and seen footage of Youngboy
With guns, right?
Yeah, at the music video. So that got thrown out, I believe. Do you know how?
I
You're
felt like
talking
that.
about the Louisiana case.
Yeah.
So the Louisiana case, he has the 2 gun cases.
okay.
He had the California case, which is they found a gun in his car when they were arresting him
Oh, gotcha.
on a warrant for the Louisiana case.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
Louisiana case. Look, I'm not here to indict the prosecution. I'm not here to talk shit about the government. But let's talk about what's happening. Let's talk about what's happening. In Baton Rouge, Louisiana, like 20 local officers and multiple feds, part of a joint task force, executed what they considered, a arrest and a roundup of these young black males who were apparently doing some illegal crap.
Right.
The chief judge of the district court in the District of Louisiana, a federal judge, the chief judge held a hearing over multiple days, and everybody went in there and gave their evidence, and the cops testified, and this and that. And what did she find? She said, you guys violated this young man's constitutional rights. You guys went through this thing, you went through this thing, you had them here, and in your warrants, you guys put stuff that does not make any sense. In fact, I'm not going to go so far as to say that you meant to lie, but this is not accurate. So let's talk about how much effort the feds are putting into rappers, and let's talk about what the results we're seeing in federal court where you get a way fairer shake. Yeah, federal court is hard, but it's pretty freaking fair. If you want to get to the truth of something, give it to a federal judge. And in Youngboy's case, what are they telling you? They're telling you Louisiana, they violated the shit out this man's constitutional rights. In California, he got a not guilty in less than 5 hours of deliberation on a 3-day trial. If y'all don't understand that in America, the individual, the person, the me, what the fuck y'all think I'm making these videos for? Because it drives me.
Hey, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe. We just hit 200K. We're trying to get to 300K.
Turn this up.
Appreciate y'all.
Let's go.